Hi, welcome to Power of Biz. My name's Tim. I am here today to talk to you about the steps for buying a business. So you're on this channel because you've heard something about buying a business, you're interested, but you don't know what to do next. So I'm going to kind of quickly break it down in 11 steps of buying a business. The first step is to identify your interests and passions and what you might want to do. So there are a lot of opportunities out there. There are a lot of different individuals with different backgrounds, different skill sets, different passions. Kind of take some time and think about what type or style of business that you might enjoy doing. Now, there's some conflicting opinions out there on whether or not you should buy a business or start a business that is in something that you are truly passionate about, or whether that doesn't really matter so much as long as you have the skills and the knowledge of how to find the right people to get into that business. I could go either way on that. It's not something that is super important to decide right up front, but it is something to kind of keep in mind. But more importantly, it's just kind of identifying the type of business that you are going to enjoy doing overall. So one of the things for me is I know I never want to be in the restaurant business. It's not something I want to do. So right away, restaurants are out. It doesn't mean that restaurant's not the right fit for you or for somebody else. It's just something that I know that I don't want. So take some time, write down the pros, cons, things you like, things you don't like, things you're good at, things you're not good at, and kind of try to narrow in a little bit on what you don't want to do or what you do want to do. Step 2 is to start identifying some of the opportunities that are out there. And you can do this kind of at the same time as you're working on what type of business you might want to do. Maybe seeing some of those opportunities out there might help give you ideas of what you want, what you don't want. How to do this? How do you find a business? Websites, networking, just kind of stopping in and meeting out business owners. So websites like Biz Buy Sell are great options for finding listings. Some of them will be out of date, some of them will be up to date. A lot of the ones that you'll find on there are listed by brokers who will kind of vet you or kind of make sure that you are who you say you are before they show you those opportunities in detail. But at least on those websites you can get an idea of what is out there. Just start Googling businesses for sale, and besides Biz Buy Sell, you'll find a few other websites out there. If you're in certain niches or if you're looking for internet-based businesses, there's a whole other category of websites that specialize in that. Chambers of Commerce is a great way to find business owners. So most local chambers of commerce will have meetups and different events going on. Just start attending those. Sign up as a citizen member or get your current employer to sign up as a member of the Chamber of Commerce if they're not already. Go to those meetings. Tell people you're interested in owning your own business one day. You don't have to approach every single business owner and tell them you want to buy their business, but just tell people that you're interested in owning your own business one day. And they might think of opportunities that they know of. So-and-so might be looking to get out of their business soon. It's a great way to find some organic business opportunities that are not on listing sites. Talking to accountants and lawyers as well, especially those that specialize in small business. Financial planners that deal with small business owners. Trying to network with as many people as you can and letting them know that you are interested in owning your own business. Once you've found an opportunity, step 3 is going to be to evaluate the opportunity. So this is where you might need to sign a non-disclosure agreement or a non-compete agreement with the seller or with a broker to get access to a little bit more additional information about the business. Some of their financials, some of their, some of their customers, some of their vendors, to kind of feel out and analyze what you might be willing to pay for the business and what the sellers want for the business and what's going good, what are the opportunities, what are the pitfalls, and kind of do an overall analysis. You're probably going to have to do this a lot of times before you find the right business. The next thing you're going to do is to make a business plan. This is a crucial step in the process of making sure that this is going to be the right business. So when you sit down and you write out a plan of how many staff you're going to need, how are you going to market this business, who are your target customers, who are the existing customers, and where do you want to take the business, how much business are they doing now, where you plan to grow that business. And you're not only going to write out a written section of this business plan, but you also need to sit down and plan out the financials. What did the business make last year? What do you think it's going to make the first year you're in it? First 3 years, first 5 years? The longer out you go, the less detail you need, but at least in that first year, you want to plan out month by month what you're going to need and do business-wise, financially, to make sure that you succeed. Now, you've got the business plan, you've evaluated the business, you're sure that you're going to be able to do this, you are going to write a letter of intent. Or you can go straight into a sales contract. And this can sometimes be done before you do the business plan. This can sometimes even be done before you go into an in-depth evaluation, if you want to make sure you're going to lock it up. But I like to do the evaluation and the business plan first, so that I know that when I write this letter of intent and make this agreement with the seller, that it is what we all think it is going to be, and there's less likelihood that I'm going to need to go back and change any of the terms of the deal. So a letter of intent is just a basic document that outlines the top level items of the deal. The price, the terms, how it's going to be financed, what the due diligence period is going to be, what the closing date's going to be, so that everybody's on the same page. It doesn't need to get into the nitty-gritty of a legal contract at this point. There's no need to spend all that money on that, because you still have another step to go after this letter of intent is signed. So don't spend a fortune on lawyers. This is a non-binding agreement between you and the seller that is just kind of agreeing that these are the terms of the deal. After you get that letter signed is when you go into the due diligence period. So this is defined in the letter of intent of whether it's 2 weeks, a month, 2 months, where the seller is agreeing to not market this business to anybody else, but you need to as quickly as possible, vet out all of the information that was previously given to you. So in that initial evaluation, you're trusting what the seller is giving you. You're trusting that those documents are accurate. You're trusting that what they're telling you is accurate. And the due diligence period is the verification part. Trust but verify. So you need to go deep into those financial reports. Ask questions. Have an accountant look at it. Have a lawyer look at it. Take a look at any really crucial customer contracts. If they have long-term customer agreements or long-term vendor agreements, you want to have an attorney look at those and make sure that they're transferable to you when you take over the business. You want to make sure that they're valid, that they're real, that the customers aren't all going to disappear the day that you buy the business, or that the vendors are going to stop working with you the day that you buy the business. So depending on the complexity of the business, those types of things will vary. And it's important that you get the proper professional help during this due diligence period, so that you can be sure that what you're buying is what the seller says it is. After this due diligence period, or before it or during it, you're also going to be trying to secure your financing for the deal. So this was stated in the letter of intent of how you plan to finance the deal, whether you have all the cash you need in the bank, whether the seller is holding 100% of the note, or whether you're going to a bank for some financing and the seller is financing some. But you need to start exploring all of your financing options. And even if the seller does plan to finance most of the deal and you're coming up with a small down payment, it still doesn't hurt to go talk to some banks and see what else is out there. They might have even better terms than the seller's willing to offer. I personally prefer when the seller is holding some portion of the note, if not all of it, because they're more vested in the deal. You're more likely to be buying a good asset if that seller has their faith in that asset that it will produce enough money to pay them back. So after the due diligence or during the due diligence, you're going to also be looking for financing on the deal. The next step, after you've done all your due diligence, maybe it went perfectly. Maybe everything that the seller gave you and said was 100% accurate, and the purchase price is set, you're good to go, you know that it's going to work at that price. great, you can go on to the next step. If you discovered things that maybe there's a little bit more uncertainty about whether those customers are sticking around, maybe there's some uncertainty about some of the key staff members of the business, maybe there's a problem with one of the vendors that they're not going to do business with you in the future. That is when you might need to renegotiate the deal. And like I said earlier, I don't really love renegotiating or retrading is what it's sometimes called on the terms of the deal that were originally set. However, if you've discovered material differences between what was said up front and what was presented later on, then you do need to make sure that you cover yourself and renegotiate that deal so that you can succeed in the business. You don't want to overpay for something that wasn't what it appeared at first glance. This doesn't give you the right to just go and offer a lower price if everything was accurate as they said. You don't want to be that person that's kind of taking advantage of a situation and trying to trade down the business, trying to lower the price after the fact if everything was accurate as stated. All set, purchase price is good, due diligence checked out, you are ready to move forward. You're going to have the lawyers draw up all the final documents, make sure all the I's are dotted, T's are crossed, go back and forth on those final details to make sure that it is all set in stone and what you're buying is what you think you're buying. And yes, I said lawyers. I know a lot of people out there don't like lawyers, they don't like to use lawyers, but it is very important that when you're investing any significant amount of money that you make sure that all the legal paperwork is in order. So use a lawyer, the seller uses their own attorney. You don't want to use the same attorney because there's conflict of interest there. Make sure that everything is done properly and signed off so that you can close the deal. So closing the deal, getting your financing from the bank or the seller or whoever it is, everybody signs off. The next step is transitioning the business. So congratulations, now you're the owner. Now you have to start running the business. And in fact, I probably should put this step right at the beginning of the process because you need to have been preparing for this transition long before closing. You need to get in there, evaluate what's going on, what you can improve, learn how things are run, make sure that you have a transition plan for day one. When I bought my wine and liquor store, I had been going to the store for months leading up to closing, putting in every single item in the store into my new point of sale system so that the morning of closing we switched over from their old cash register system to my new point of sale system so that it was running perfectly. I even taught the staff ahead of time how it was going to work so that they were prepared that Monday morning at 9 o'clock to use the new system so that the inventory was up to date day one. Had I not thought about it until closing day, we would have been scrambling around me trying to figure out how I was going to do things that day. So make sure you're prepared, you're planning, and you're taking over that ownership. Sending letters out to customers, sending letters out to vendors, sending letters out to employees, making sure that everybody knows that you're the new owner, that all new payables come to you, that you will be paying all your payables going forward, and that everybody's on the same page that you are now the owner of the company. Last up, which again probably could come earlier and should be part of your original business plan, but your exit strategy. So even before you get into the business, you need to know what your exit plan is. And this is something that a lot of business owners don't think about, don't plan for. But what you want to make sure that you're doing from day one of even buying the business, thinking about buying the business, is knowing what your exit plan is. It can change over time, but you want to make sure you have a plan. And no plan is not a plan. So whether that exit is you hold this thing forever, you hire a team of managers and you go sit on a beach in Tahiti while other people run it for you, or whether your plan is to grow the business as much as you can in 2 years and then sell exactly 2 years from now, it doesn't matter what that plan is, just important that you have that plan in place. So those were my kind of steps for buying a business. I hope that you found them useful. Just to kind of reiterate them all again is step one, finding what you like, identifying your interests, identifying your passions. Step two, going out and actually finding a business, searching for a business. Step three, of evaluating a particular business that you've found. Step 4, making a business plan. Step 5, letter of intent. Step 6, securing some funding. Step 7, performing due diligence. Step 8, reevaluating the deal, renegotiating the deal only if necessary. Step 9, closing the sale. Step 10, transitioning, taking ownership. And step 11, creating that exit strategy. Thanks very much for watching the Power of Biz YouTube channel. Really appreciate your time. If you like this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this with a friend. Really appreciate getting the word out there, and I'd love to hear from you in the comments below what you want to know about buying a business, running a business. Really appreciate that feedback. So thanks for watching. See you soon. Cheers.